This is a horror game podcast. It is meant for mature audiences. It may contain shocking revelations, violence, and sexual themes. Viewer discretion is advised. Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Thom Raley. The scenario is The Gap. It was written by Josh Harwood, who is also our keeper of arcane lore, and this is a one-shot. So without any further delay, let's begin our journey into the darkness. Josh?
You all find yourselves being called out to the small town of Once Brood. Gibson, you were asked by several higher-ups, maybe even the Prime Minister. You are unsure because things get tangled in the web of politics everywhere. So you are unsure where your orders really come from. But you are told that you have to go to Once Brood, assess the situation because there's been an incident, something's gone wrong, and it's possibly to do with your department because otherwise you wouldn't have been asked. So you have been sent there. You were told that 2 special investigators were assigned to assist you, which is Northamptonshire and Weatherworth. You've worked with them before. And also assigned is a Dr. Blackwood and Dr. Langdon, who you may or may not have met. One is a historian and one is a biologist. So you all meet at the Inn of Twice Brood, which is in Once Brood. It's a town in Northumberland near Hadrian's Wall. It's 2023 as well, just to clarify.
What time of year?
We could say it's summer,
Okay.
or getting close to the end of summer.
Perfect. Dr. Langdon walks into the room through the front doors to the inn and takes off his sun hat and removes his sunglasses and looks around to see if he recognizes any of the people he's supposed to meet in the foyer.
Edward, hey, it's good to see you. Did you come up with any information on what is of historical precedence in this area? I mean, I don't have anything in my records to justify why in the world we're out here, especially with 2 special investigators.
Inspector, good to see you. And I reach out a hand and shake his hand as he extends it. To be honest, I'm not sure. I would say that there's a little parlay we could have in the bar if you'd like while we wait for everyone else and perhaps catch up.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, the 2, should I say, agents are probably already in the bar. Let's go give it a check.
All right.
It's also supposed to be a biologist for some reason.
And almost as if on cue, Tybalt Blackthorn will make his way into Twice Brood. The gentleman is wearing a thick Highland sweater, along with sort of khaki cargo pants. He does actually make his way into the Twice Brood bar, or pub, I should say, with a Blackthorn thumbstick, something that he uses when he's out in the field. He's clad in sort of professional and in reinforced looking hiking boots. This man spends a lot of time outdoors, and he says, Langdon, I see I made it on time.
As you see, Doc, nice to see you. And I stick a hand out to shake him, give him a little squeeze.
Give you a firm handshake. He's got, whereas I do not, he has thick brown hair, green eyes, and a neatly maintained full growth beard. all sort of a chestnutty brown.
Interesting.
He pushes past and makes for a table closest to the bar.
Good choice, please. And I motion for the inspector to follow.
I didn't realize you knew the biologist. Well, okay, that's good to know then. So at least we have a chance to cut the introductions and figure out what's going on here. Let's go see if the agents are in there.
We run in wide circles, but it is true we are waiting on another specialist, aren't we? And I look at Dr. Blackwood to see if he acknowledges.
I was only informed that you would be here, and believe it was Inspector Gibson. Is that correct?
Yes. I haven't met you before.
Apologies. I did not mean to be rude at the door, and he extends his hand to introduce himself.
Say likewise.
So, Langdon, what have you dug up?
Very little specificity, unfortunately. But what I do find is that there is more than enough here to merit the funding of multiple specialists like ourselves. And strangely, some government individuals, I don't know if anyone has had the pleasure yet.
Well, the property must be either owned or definitely visited by the higher ups, because, I mean, I don't know what level it rose to get us out here, especially with agents, but there's got to be something going on.
Significant, I agree.
Oh, I wonder if they may have just dug up some old Celt or something. Maybe a Pict. Langdon, you did a whole class on them recently, didn't you?
It's up on Masterclass right now. If you don't mind to check it out, I always appreciate the support.
Oh, you know me. I'm always happy to support a friend. Inspector Gibson, you said we were expecting 2 more.
Yes,
Pardon me, gentlemen.
Wendell.
Are one of you Inspector Gibson?
Well, yes. Do I recognize Wendell in a different attire?
Well, I tend to always wear my lab coat because you never know when you're going to get your hands dirty. I'm Dr. Wendell Weatherworth, forensics, and that's Rupert.
Good evening, chaps. I'm Rupert, Northamptonshire.
And with that, you've killed the GM.
I'm here with old Bonesaw, me best chum.
Yes, that's what he calls me. Apparently, we're relatives of Dick Van Dyke.
Are you? I'm sorry. So it's
This is
Mr.
an
Northamptonshire. You said?
Yes, that's his
yes,
name.
that's correct. That's correct, mate.
And you are? I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Dr. Weatherworth.
Dr. Weatherworth. Thank you, Neil.
We
Extend
went
his hand to the
if
both
you'd
of you. Why don't you take a seat and fill us in? What's going on?
Oh, we have no idea. We thought you knew.
On the contrary, I was just given instructions to head up this way, and that the 2 of you were involved. I reached out to Dr. Langdon here to hopefully get a little bit of historical reference to what's going on, and I'm not certain what's the draw of the area here, but I'm
historical,
not sure
you said? There's a bit of Hadrian's Wall.
Yeah, true.
That's been well documented for many hundreds of years. So
I've received nothing but estoppels when it comes to more delicate information, and received an invitation to show up here. That is all.
And
well, either we're all about to be murdered, or
well, you know, as you do that, you're all sat around table or stood up, and then you hear a commotion, like someone has tripped over a chair. You all look in the direction, and it is an older gentleman. He's got a nice beard, well-kept hair. He's very well dressed, got a waistcoat, tie, nice trousers, nice shoes, and he's got glasses on, and he goes, hello, gentlemen.
I cast a sideways glance at Ian.
Good evening.
What's all this
Or
then?
afternoon.
Evening. Are you by chance our contact?
Oh, yes, I am Professor Stuart Lipley at your service.
Oh, Professor.
Yes.
Please, here, take a seat with us. And waiter, can you bring the man another drink?
Oh, no, don't worry about me. Don't worry.
Is his name?
I'm okay.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Is his name someone we would recognize from our time in academia?
Yes, a very, very prestigious professor. He's lectured and taught all over the world.
What's his area of study?
Ah, you beat me to it.
His area of study is ancient history, but he does dabble in other fields.
Does he have a specific? I'm sorry to drill you on this character, but does he have a specific area of history? So is he like ancient, European history, ancient Scandinavian history, Roman?
Definitely European history.
Okay.
And he also lectures on empires, and that's empires on the world, as like worldly empires. So he does look at the Ottomans and the Chinese and stuff like that.
Good.
Oh, interesting.
He's very well versed.
Your reputation precedes you, Professor.
Yes. Sorry for getting you all out here. This is confidential government business. I don't suppose you all noticed the tents just outside of the town.
We may have seen them. I thought it was vagabonds.
Oh yes, no, it's just it's our base of operations at the minute. We did have a group up by Hadrian's Wall, but that's the issue. We have seemingly lost contact with them, and every time someone gets close, they feel compelled to return, is how they describe it.
Including the emergency services.
Yes.
So you chose librarians and historians and doctors?
Well, there's at least 2 agents here.
Oh, well, yes. Well, I've called you really for the body that we found.
I see.
As you're talking about Hadrian's Wall, Blackwood's already got his smartphone out and he's looking at sort of like a Google map, of the whole breadth of the wall, and just trying to suss out that kind of information. Screen flashing over here.
Yes, he says if you have kept your eyes on the news, the tree in Sycamore Gap, it's a very old ancient tree. It's been around for years. It recently was vandalized, cut down.
What?
Oh,
yes.
You must be joking.
That's outrage.
Since then, the locals in this town have been saying strange things have been happening. Strange lights have been emitting from that area. They've been hearing voices, hearing ruckus in the night, like marching.
You said there was a body. Where was this body found? Has it been brought back to town?
Yes, it is actually in our tents just outside of the town. It's best if you see it for yourself because
Under refrigeration?
Well, as I said, it's best you see for yourself.
Now that I think about it, recall seeing they're planning on coppicing that sycamore. I could use a new thumbstick. Anyway, sorry to interrupt. What were we talking about?
Well, let's go see it.
Yeah.
Yes. I will warn you. We do have a couple of military personnel who have attached themselves to this. They are a pain in my ass.
Professor, what exactly did you dig up?
Worse, they didn't dig it up. They found it, lying in the grass. You will see what I mean when we get there.
We'll save our concerns then.
No.
Oh, this is all very exciting.
Langdon, yes?
Yeah.
Perhaps you should tell us how we can, ward off the fairy folk and, deal with the will-o'-the-wisps that seem to be, I'm surprised. There better be something interesting about that body to bring us all the way out here for ghosts and goblins.
While I have some knowledge of more obscure topics, I think from an anthropological aspect, this merits at least your presence, Doctor, don't you?
Oh, well, I'll take a look at the body, but when the local folks start talking about seeing ghosts and balls of light in the sky, it's like it's a tale as old as, well, history.
Dr. Langdon straightens his hat and puts his sunglasses on. That's what the agents are here for.
Yeah.
I hope the agents are here to help round up whoever cut the tree down. I mean,
yes,
indeed. Let's find out.
That just seems like a local problem.
Well, I can actually answer that question. They arrested a 16-year-old boy and his father. There's potentially a couple others who were involved.
Why desecrate such a place?
They didn't say. They wouldn't say. They refused to answer the question.
Can we talk with them?
Yes, I don't see why not. They're being held at in the local building, town hall. Sorry, I was trying to think of the name, but the town hall over there.
Inspector, I'm sure you could get something out of them.
I would think hopefully Dr. Weatherworth goes to check the body. I don't know what assistance you need, but I would definitely like to question the two culprits.
Dr. Blackwood should probably come with me. He's a biologist.
Most definitely. I'd also like to look at the tree myself. I have it was the subject of a lot of photographers. We had a lot of tourists that would come out to picture that, or photograph, that tree. And I actually have a framed photo of it in my office with the aurora above it. And do you know, Professor, have they dragged the proper tree off yet? Is it just the stump?
No, it's still over.
Well, if you'd rather see the tree, I really don't need any help doing the forensics.
They said it was in roughly the same area. I don't see why we can't do both.
But we're here in town, which is where the culprits are. So I would. Yeah.
Well, just to put it in perspective, the town hall is across this village isn't very big. The town hall is across the road, and the tents are behind the town hall because the rest is like open field. There's a little hill that you have. There's a little hill you have to go over to get to the wall, but
the tree
in that direction anyways.
Probably half mile away, quarter mile away.
Yeah, give or take.
Okay.
And he has said he did also state that people have been struggling getting to the wall.
That's a very strange thing to say. What do you mean? They're repelled?
Some people go over and we get radio contact with them, and then we don't hear from them again. And then some get to a top of a hill, ready to go down, and then they just turn around, and they seemingly say they don't remember why they were going that way. It's
Well, you said
bizarre.
Papers.
You said there was
Very
a
strange.
military presence here. Are they having the same kind of difficulties?
It's
Maybe the locals are drinking this, keeping them, and their own local superstitions keeping them away. But how about the military?
well, there's only a few. There's only a few at the minute, but I have a feeling if this persists, there'll be more because they'll want to get involved.
Mhm.
Well, that's why I assume
We're here.
my higher ups insisted on sending you, Inspector, and your two special investigators.
Indeed.
Well, I'd like to see the body as soon as possible. If you say it's in a tent, I hope it's been refrigerated. It's not decomposing.
Well, maybe we go there first then, shall we?
Well, like I say, I don't need you all there. But
Professor, is the
Yeah.
expectation that we begin this evening? Actually, what time is it?
It's like 4 in the afternoon.
Oh,
Mhm.
this afternoon. Well,
When-
I know.
sure.
I
when
guess
was-
evening works.
when
Yeah.
was the body found?
Well, the body was discovered before you guys were called, there was no body. That's all I'm going to say. And about 4 hours ago, the body was discovered on top of the hill.
Well, then
Just
that
this
brings up
body.
a good question. When was the tree chopped down?
I think he said a few days ago.
Yes, about a few days ago.
Okay.
Right. Well, let's get to it. Clearly, there is something out of the ordinary afoot. I'd like
After
to get to
you.
the bottom of it.
After you, Doctor.
He's going to stand up and, Dr. Weatherworth, shall we?
Yes, let's go.
Okay, so are you guys going to split up, or are you going to all stay together and go to the tent, or are some of you going to talk to the father and son, and the others go to the tent?
We'll split up when we get to the use of the town halls right there, and the tents are
Right.
behind it. So
Yeah.
they'll go one way, we'll go another. But
Inspector, why don't you... Actually, that's a pretty solid idea, Dr. Weatherworth. Inspector, why don't you and Mr. Northamptonshire here ask the father and son what the hell they were thinking? Dr. Langdon? I mean, I'm not in charge, but wherever you wish to be, I think you would be useful.
We can text you or call you with whatever we find and coordinate accordingly.
Sounds like a plan.
Yes.
so we should all coordinate our telephones then, so that we've
We all
got each other's
do the big
information.
exchange of information.
Group
Yeah.
text. The
Yep.
group text.
Nowadays, we just touch our phones together in the
Right.
middle. You know.
Gingerly touch tips. I believe I'll go with the inspector. I'll go with my old friend Ian.
Right.
Okay. So, Professor Likely will take Weatherworth and Blackwood to the tent. I will stick with the three investigator going to talk to the father and son at the minute.
I know the light's dimming, but as we're approaching the tent, using my awesome super biology powers, is there anything odd about the local flora that I may notice on this short walk?
I will answer that question in a few minutes.
Okay.
So, going with Inspector, Northamptonshire, and Langdon,
Mhm.
you guys enter the town hall. It's just your stereotypical village hall. There's not really a lot to it. And they've got the father and son just sat on chairs in the middle. There's a couple of local police officers and a very stern-looking gentleman. He's got a military stance to him.
I look over at the agent, Northamptonshire, and I say, I suppose I'll follow your lead.
All right. I will go ahead, bypassing without looking at any of the people, completely ignoring them, up to the two prisoners.
As you do that, you hear, What are you doing?
Special agent. I completely fucked it. I can't do the accent in order to preserve the sanity of our other viewers. I'm Special Agent Northamptonshire.
And Dr. Edward Langdon.
And Dr. Edward Langdon. And, of course, Governor Inspector Ian Gibson.
Well, I'm Colonel Alec's son, and what are you doing on this property right now? You're not meant to be here. This is military. It's a military operation.
Do I need to give you the number of the higher-ups that actually sent us out here that somewhat outrank you, Colonel?
I look at my phone in uncomfort and discomfort.
If you haven't got the text information already, I could easily forward you the information that sent us on the way here. I do appreciate you preserving all of the evidence for us, but at least if you'll take the time to fill us in on what you know. And with that, I pull up whatever government report that I have that sent us out here.
Yeah, he takes one look at it. He scoffs and just, they're always sending people to be in our way. Well, I know as little as you all know. I sent 2 men up to the gap, and they have not returned. They will not get in contact with me. I've tried interrogating these 2, but they will not speak to me. And he kind of slams his fist on just in the air, just slams it in the air because there's nothing to slam down on. So he kind of just.
Mm-hmm. I ask him, is there a history of individuals going missing prior to this?
Oh, we are on a hiking trail, really. They've been known for people to go missing, but they usually just turn up later down the trail. Some do go missing forever, but that just happens anywhere if you go hiking, really.
Interesting.
So, Colonel Sun, I have to assume you're with the local militia here. So you have the best information of the particular area and surroundings. And as Dr. Langdon asked, nothing particular stands out regarding, was there any forewarning of any protest or anything around this tree?
No, it's protected. It's a protected tree.
Yes.
So
registered.
These 2 will face severe charges, and anyone else involved.
No one saw threats on social media, anything like that?
Not as far as I saw, but some analysts do say that they did notice some trends to do with why is that tree there? It's an eyesore for hikers and all that jazz.
Mm-hmm.
Did you happen to confiscate I'm assuming they had phones?
Well, we searched them and they didn't have any phones on them.
It's wild.
As we look at the father-son, I assume a psychology role, do they look like they're resisting or confused, or what's their demeanor? Or do we make a roll?
Good question.
Do me a psychology roll.
No.
I got a 0-3.
Ooh. I was about to say Northamptonshire can roll as well, but you got a 0-3. So, no, the odd thing about them, Langdon, is they look completely at peace. They don't act like they've done something wrong.
Mm-hmm. Well, if I may, Ian, it seems as though reason would suggest that guilt would come along with the crime. And look in those eyes. And I kind of point Those don't look remorseful at all.
I
All they
agree.
all they did was cut down a damn tree.
A protected tree, a well-known landmark. It's not George Washington, a cherry tree in the backyard, with all due respect, Agent.
Well, but it's not the crime of the century. I mean,
Understood, but we have to understand history or else we're doomed to repeat it. Cutting down historical landmarks is a true crime.
understanding the tree history.
No, understanding the
Are
history
we
of cutting
doomed to
down
repeat the tree?
cutting down landmarks. If we don't understand the actual problem with those things, then we could continue to cut down things without any kind of regress or second thought, I suppose.
Well, I'm not usually in favor of the lenient sentences, but I hope they don't go too hard on these poor boys.
It's a father-son. It's not just a boy. Come on, Rupert. Hopefully you can understand the significance of historical landmarks. What were you to say if somebody came in and took the stones from Stonehenge to kind of help build their own castle or a house? Would that not upset you?
Well,
Let's not argue.
Sure.
Uh,
It's an interesting point.
Colonel's son kind of interjects. He's like, they could seriously get up to 15 years for this.
For a bloody tree?
It's not just a tree. This tree has been there for years. It's a mark of the past, a mark of history. Without that tree symbolizes things that have happened in these areas. It grew in the gap for a reason.
Well said, Colonel. So how long have you had them? You said 4 hours that you had them under arrest and observation?
No. We found these two about 2 hours ago. Whereas he says, I think you're probably referring to the body that was found about 4 hours ago.
Then I think it would be worthwhile for us. We brought a forensic specialist along and a biologist. Maybe it would be prudent to get their involvement, to maybe take a blood sample to see if these guys are either hyped on anything or encountered anything that might explain their stupor, I would best call it.
Well, they did let the local law enforcement take fingerprints and all the various other things they need, all the other forensic details they needed. Mm-hmm. They were very forthcoming for that.
I was going to say, any pertinent information come back about why they might have done that for motivation?
No. All I know is the young boy here is called Ben Lowe, and his father is called Kenneth Lowe. Mm-hmm. They are from the next town over. Mm-hmm. Apparently, the boy is good. A good boy. He gets on with his work. Does really well in school. Helps out where he can. And the father's like a town hero. He does a lot for the community. Yet here they are, unable to speak to me or the other law enforcement.
Agent Ian, would you two like a moment to question the individuals? You're muted, Rupert.
I said, I'm sure they'll...
All of us is give a good, at least ask them questions, but Edwards, as you can see, you're the one that pointed it out. Look at their eyes. I mean, if the colonel couldn't get anything out of them, please attempt, but hopefully as soon as the doctors are complete mm-hmm. with the body in the tent, we can mm-hmm. get them in to at least get blood sample and check to see what's potentially they're hyped up on.
And as you said that, the screen wipes over to the tent as as Dr. Weatherworth, Dr. Blackwood, and Professor Lively arrive at the tent.
Yes, I think
Well,
I think I have some
here we
vapor rub here somewhere. If you want to use that, Dr. Blackwood.
What would I use
Uh,
this for?
You put it on your nose because if the body is
Ah.
decaying, it doesn't bother me anymore. But I don't think you've probably been involved in many autopsies.
Blackwood, to answer your question before you talk about autopsies, about
Yes.
the local fauna and all that, can you do a botany check for me, please?
Yes. All right, we're starting off hot. I got an 8.
Yeah, it is odd. There is a flower that you noticed the closer you got to the tent. You know it's got a stupidly long scientific name.
Don't they all?
But it's not meant to exist anymore. It's meant to be extinct. You only recognize it because of its unique color blend and its spore count.
So it's extinct. We don't have any kind of, I guess that would be a better question for Langdon. It's got a unique color blend, or coloration, I should say.
Yes. Well, as far as you're aware, you've never seen it before, and looking at it, it looks like the ones from the textbooks that you've read,
right,
about extinct flowers, because that helps indicate where other flowers have come from.
Right. So this is the genetic ancestor of something that I'm more intimately familiar with.
Yes.
Awesome. Hang on. That, Dr. Weatherworth, are you seeing this? And I'm going to indicate towards this flower with the thumbstick that he has with him.
I'm not particularly up on my flowers. I don't recognize it.
But okay. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't hallucinating. That flower should not exist. That flower's has been extinct for a very long time.
It's only fossil records.
Yes, Professor Lively pipes up. Yes, I think it's they refer to it in the textbooks as the yellow dryad.
Well, perhaps it's quite a discovery. It's obviously not extinct. Perhaps very localized, very small subclimate.
It's possible, but what I'm saying is it shouldn't be here. It's extinct. It before I launch into a Monty Python skit, is it an X flower? Okay.
I don't know. The coelacanths was thought to be extinct for a million years, and they found them.
Yes. This is true. Not often one finds a extinct flower species in the, well, I was going to say back moors, but I guess we're in the foothills of northern England.
Right. Perhaps you'll become famous for it. Your new thesis.
Now that would be quite a crowning achievement, but I fear we are delaying. I'm not entirely sure I'm going to be comfortable with this. And he gets the Vicks into his mustache.
It kind of burns out your nasal receptors.
Yes,
temporarily.
Oh, I've worked with rot flowers before. It's the digging around I might have an issue with.
Professor,
sit down.
Professor Lively goes, well, I am just going to go make some calls and fill in some paperwork. In the tent is two of my two assistants, Dr. Holly Cabrera and Dr. David Cabrera. They're a married couple.
The Cabreras, thank you.
Yes.
Almost as rare as your flower.
Yes,
And,
I trust them.
I'm sorry, DM. Who are the
Yes.
Cabreras?
Who are the
Holly and
Cabreras?
David.
Holly and David.
Medical assistants?
Yes, they're basically Professor Lively's medical assistants, but they are doctors in their own rights and academics in their own rights.
Okay.
So.
And our,
does he just shove us in, or does he introduce?
Oh, he opens and he introduces you. Holly, David, this is Dr. Wendell Weatherworth and Dr. TSR Blackwood.
Dr. Cabrera. Dr. Cabrera. Right. So, what do we have?
Like to see the body.
Sorry,
David.
Weatherworth, this is more your theater. I will observe.
David goes, well, it's a little odd. Yeah, he takes over the sheet, and in front of you is a body. They look like they've been, just from first glances, they haven't been dead for very long, yet they are barely wearing anything. And what they are wearing is, because they haven't really touched it yet. They're waiting for someone else like yourself to come along. It's got like maybe a bear skin or some kind of skin wrap around. They're wearing like a kilt. They've got like blue body paint and face paint. And just by their mouth is open, you assume when they died, their jaw just stuck open, and their teeth look very odd, very out of shape, very discolored.
We have. I look around. Do we have all the instruments we need for an autopsy?
Yes, you do, and the assistants say they will help remove the clothing as well. They just said they wanted to keep it. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's all right. Out of curiosity, I know it is not my particular specialty, but you did mention the teeth were odd. Are they odd because they're beat to hell, or are they odd because they are a uniquely different shape? Like, are they? Is it the? Does this person's mouth appear that they've been living rough for a while, or is there something more unusual beyond sort of extreme dental wear and tear?
No, so David will answer this question in character.
Okay.
He said he. So, well, what I noticed is that the jaw does seem to have a lot of tension, made a lot from a lot of punches, but the teeth. Yes, but the teeth look like it's someone who lives in the outdoors, not necessarily has time for dental hygiene.
Teeth, right?
Yes.
No. Well, what do you make of these clothes? Odd. They look hand-fashioned.
Handcrafted.
Handcrafted.
I'm
going to basically start. First, there's going to be an overall examination, but I'm going to use a tape recorder and tape record everything that I'm saying. The first thing is these clothing, this hand-fashioned clothing. Didn't use a machine to make these. Odd. Do I recognize the tartan of the plaid?
No, you do not, but you can do me like a history roll or something like that.
Okay. We'll have to get Dr. Langdon over here.
Keeper, I did also just send you a message.
No, I don't know why I even rolled. I got 5 in history.
You could have caught a documentary somewhere.
We'll have to, yeah. Well, that's how I knew that there were different tartans. It's maybe 5 that I know really that are very common.
Blackwood kind of has appeared with gloves that he scrounged from somewhere, and it's like right next to you, Dr. Wendell, and he kind of looks up. Do you mind?
What would you like to do?
Looking at the clothes, because you mentioned they were handcrafted.
Well, like a LARP or.
Can I sort of turn them over? I'm trying to determine if the tartan or the cloth itself has been dyed with plant-based dye or something more modern, like I don't want to say like an acrylic, but I'm not quite sure what goes into dyeing wool.
do me a botany check, because you have the skills, so I will let you do.
Yeah, you would probably definitely know what colors you get from plants.
I did succeed with a 49 out of 50, but it was close.
That's fine. That's what you need. You just need a success. Yes, they are hand dyed. You can tell by the methodology, but it's a unique blend, and especially with being hand dyed, that doesn't happen very often anymore. It's normally very bougie places that do it.
Well, if somebody's trying to live completely off the grid.
Yes.
It's a lot harder to do.
A lot harder. Is there any other clothing? Socks, shoes?
A pouch?
No socks, no shoes. There are like sandals, but they're handcrafted. They put them on one of the, like a table or something, like a little examiner's table.
So the kilt is just the skirt part of it. It's not any of the other accoutrements that go with it.
No. There seems to be like the belt and all the other buckles and that, all that part of the kilt is on the table. It just seemed they've kind of kept the cloth on because, we were waiting for you because there's nothing much. Well, everything's on show basically, so we just left it on to be a bit respectful.
So we'll start with the body. We'll remove the clothes, but we will leave them to the side. I'd like Dr. Langdon to look at them. Maybe they're trying to imitate something historical.
I will just clarify, there was also a pouch as well, because one of you did mention on the table there is a pouch. It's like a proper leather crafted pouch.
Okay. As Dr. Weatherworth begins the medical examination, I would like to, as gently, because again, this is not my realm of expertise, but I'm curious as to what's in the bag. So I would like to see what's in the pouch.
Okay, I will stick with Weatherworth at the minute, and then I will come to the pouch.
So I'm going to first the hands and feet, condition of the nails. Are they cracked? Are they manicured? Are they?
They're cracked, filthy? Discolored, filthy. Someone who's on their feet a lot of the time probably doesn't wash an awful lot. Again, it comes back to that hygiene. You could tell by just the texture of their foot. Is lividity? Is there any rigor mortis? Is there pooling of blood on the bottom of the body? I can determine. I'm trying to determine the time of death. You can start to notice a little pool of blood forming at the bottom of the body, but it doesn't appear rigor mortis fully set in.
Okay, so yeah, only a few hours. Any wounds?
Yes. So now we are. There appears to be a couple of stab wounds and slashing wounds along the chest. and
Sort of a
lower,
knife fight.
and the belly.
Yeah.
Can you do me
Well,
a forensics check?
Sure. Got a hard.
Okay. By looking at, because in your inner monologue, you were talking about knife wounds. Looking at the size of the wounds, it appears more like a sword, possibly a short sword.
Huh. So once I look on both sides, obviously, and,
Yes.
I'll go over everything once again just to see if there's anything that seems unusual. The knife wound, the sword wounds seem fresh.
Yes. Well, again, the wounds themselves indicate probably a few hours.
Okay, so this man has been stabbed either with a large knife or with some sort of sword-like instrument. I'll then go for the depth of the stab. We'll begin the actual autopsy. We'll open him up. We'll see if organs were penetrated by the sword and so forth.
Yes.
Do I see anything unusual inside?
So I will go over sword wounds first, and then I will make you do another roll. I'm keeping the sword wounds on top of the sword roll. So both of the stabs seemingly went all the way through. A lung was, I will just say that going by the trajectory, a lung was probably punctured. And the other one probably caught the intestines, but it still went through. The slashing, they appear almost superficial.
Okay, and so we think blood loss probably was the
blood loss and internal bleeding from perforation of certain organs.
Very odd. So I think that we have a murderer.
And now I'll make you do another roll for the actual.
I got almost the same thing. I had a 40 before. I got a 46. I could spin 6 to make it hard if you think I need to.
No, I don't think you need to, because you've done the sword wounds. You've already basically opened up the body. So you've been doing this job for a very long time. You've studied various autopsies throughout the years, and going by a lot of these organs and bone structure, and even looking at the skin, this body is telling you that this is not a modern man. It doesn't seem like a modern human being.
In what way? I mean, it doesn't just look like a dirty human. That's.
It seems more like either this person had abnormality when they were born, so certain things didn't grow properly, or certain parts of the body or nervous system or whatever didn't function properly. But a lot of that coincides with some cases from pre-1800s.
Okay. I'll check the teeth. I'll check the brain capacity, the brain condition, and so forth. I look over at Dr. Blackwood. Are you all right? This is pretty intense.
That depends entirely on what I find in this bag.
Okay, Dr. Blackwood, you open, and we will open the bag. I will tell you the contents, and before you could comment on them, I will wipe back to the other three.
Okay.
So I will tell you the contents before we wipe back to the other three. So when you open the bag, there appears to be a little handcrafted knife, almost like a carving knife. It's a very tiny one. It's very it's properly handcrafted. There's even runes along the wooden handle. It seems to have. You could do me a dangerology roll.
Oh. Do I just make that? No, I don't. Unfortunately, I was over by 2 with a 67.
Okay.
Are we working with spending luck?
Yeah, you can spend luck. It's a one shot after all. So.
Sure. I will go ahead and spend luck. So that's 2 points to push it to a 65, which is a regular success.
That's fine. Going by the wood, the wood actually seems like it's bark made out of bark and wood from a sycamore tree.
Oh, okay. Well, you said I can't comment on anything, so is that the full contents? Is this night?
No, there is more. I'll get it. Also, there are several vials. Very like I say vials. They're very poorly made. Definitely not made by the modern era. Someone out in the land. Someone who's probably crafted all this out in the wilds, barely any modern technology. And in there's like herbs, varying herbs and spices, and a few plants. And then you also notice like there's a charm bracelet with made out of little bones that have runes carved in them. And on that note, I will go back to the other three as we wipe back over. Okay. I forgot where we were.
We're about to question the two guys.
Yes. So obviously, Langdon, you were stepping back, weren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So Inspector and Northamptonshire, you can.
So I'm gonna go up to the adult guy, the father, and sort of just wave my finger in front of his face and see if he follows it with his eyes.
Let's say you move and he doesn't move until you get here, then he sharply turns.
Okay. Interesting. I will say good afternoon, sir. I'm Inspector Rupert Northamptonshire of the Royal Police Force. And we need to ask you some questions.
He doesn't respond. He just looks at you. He's just staring at you.
I'm gonna give him. Is this police abuse, Inspector? Or Inspector, and I'll just poke his face. I'll poke him in the face.
As you go to poke him, he jutters back and like chomps his teeth.
Oh dear. Let's not get violent.
And that's actually triggered a reaction because he starts chant like it's not English. He just goes
Do I recognize that language?
You can do me a history roll.
Oh my. Oh my. All right. That is there's no way I rolled 2-0 first number. That's a 0-5. Anyway, that's a 0-5. I'm lucky tonight. I'm feeling good.
That means bad luck is on the way. But
oh no, well that's good.
You going by the phrasing and the nonsense, because obviously what I spoke wasn't real. It sounds ancient. Whatever he's speaking is ancient, not anything you have personally heard or seen, but just by picking out certain phrases and syllables, you can safely infer that it's an ancient language.
Sure. Pre-Sumerian derived language, pre-Babylonian derived language, sure.
Yes.
Yeah, Langdon is clearly shaken at this and kind of reaches a hand out and puts it on Inspector Gibson's shoulder and says, "That's old. That's old stuff."
Colonel Sun, you're from around this area, correct?
I'm not from around this area, but I am stationed at the local army base. Yes,
nearby.
I say local.
Are there by chance any historical reenactments that they do for the tourists when they come out to visit the Hadrian's Wall? Could these possibly be some of the actors associated with that?
There is a yearly festival, but I don't think so. It's not something I've heard. I may not look it, but I can let loose sometimes, and I have been to one of his festivals, and I haven't heard that kind of language before.
But yet these two father-son are not dressed up according to such festival activities, so that's quite strange. And Dr. Langdon, you said that you actually recognized a little bit, or at least it's not made up gibberish just for tourists, correct? I mean, you're catching something out of it?
I can't say that I understand it per se, but the derivation of some of the language that we see does seem to, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Believe me, I can't make sense of it. But if I had to guess, there's clearly some influence there. Since it's possibly not gibberish, which it might be, I find myself leaning towards the former.
Northamptonshire, do me a spot hidden while those two were chatting.
Seems
In
to
the
me
same
that he's,
activity. Go ahead. Sorry.
seems to me, Governor, that he's madder than a March hare, and that is a 98.
Okay,
So I am just not spotting anything.
that's fine. So you guys are continuing conversation.
I'll try to do, following what Edward did with the father, I'll try to do the same type of trying to get the son, Ben's attention, trying to see if he's better at following my hand in front of his face. I'm definitely not getting it close to him to snap at like he did Edward, but trying to, at the same time, trying to charm him, at least try to talk to him as far as so Ben, I understand you're from the village next door. Do you participate in some of the festivities around here?
And again, Colonel Sun looks a bit annoyed because they're actually speaking to you guys, but he again speaks this language. But his is more violent, more savage towards you, and he kind of leans forward, and his hands kind of reach out towards you, and
I do think we need to get the doctor. They're almost acting like they're rabid. I mean, we need to get the doctor to come do a blood test on these two.
Can I repeat back what I heard at the other one?
Sorry, what do you mean?
I want to repeat the thing that he just said. So whatever gibberish he just said, I'll repeat it back at the other guy.
You repeat it. Can you do me a luck roll, please?
Okay.
Roll on your luck. Are you feeling lucky?
Let's go,
18.
Rupert.
18. Okay. So you do get a reaction from both of them, but they come towards you slowly.
What?
And they start sniffing around you. Almost like wolves sniffing for prey.
Well, excuse me, I don't believe, and I kind of grab Rupert by the back of his shirt. I don't believe we've come here for this.
Well, hold your horses.
Rupert,
And-
don't get too close, because if these men have been bitten by raccoons or other rabid animals, I don't know what kind of treatment the doctor has, but be careful.
No. Rabies has an incubation period of many, many years.
Crazy has a 0-day incubation period, Doc.
Well, that's what I got this bad boy for. And I'll just point to my gun.
Nice.
And they're still saying these weird phrases, but they're a bit more calmer around you, Rupert, even though they are around you sniffing the air.
I'll keep
And
trying
walking
to repeat
weirdly.
random stuff.
I need you to do me another. If you're going to keep repeating, I need you to do me another
I love it.
look roll.
That's a 20. That's another pass.
Okay, no. The sun actually gets down on all fours and starts sniffing around the bottom of your trousers.
It's almost like some sort of command word.
At least take me to crazy dinner first.
Yeah.
Let me
keep
ask this:
doing
Do I
nothing.
see any connection between him using these words and the behavior changing in any way?
You can do me an intelligence roll.
Oh, 72. I don't think so.
Intelligence or psychology?
For Langdon intelligence, for you, Gibson, you can do a psychology.
I'm almost thinking he's more treating you as if you're the alpha in the room. Nope, not with a 92.
Okay, so during all of that, Colonel Sun just pipes up like, "You two, sit down now." He just shouts at them, "Just get back to your chairs." And he's kind of got his hand on his gun. And then the two of them just start to growl, and their teeth start to chunter against each other, and their mouth movements are very frantic, and their eyes widen.
Rupert, you tell him to do the same thing. See if they listen to you. Wasn't he the one saying the words, right? I mean,
Yes, if Rupert tries again, he needs to do a look roll.
I've got my hand on my taser, pulling it, starting to at least pull it out, not point it, but I'm somewhat backed up, thinking these guys are rabid.
I'm just gonna say, everybody, calm down here. It's all good. They're not hurting anybody.
As they're just growling, hissing, and at everyone.
tell them to sit down. See if they'll listen to you. They took an interest in you, Rupert.
I'll just gently, sort of, with my hands, sort of guide them back into the chair.
I need you to try and be lucky again.
All right. $42. That's a pass. It's getting worse. They're getting closer.
Okay. They start to, but their anger shifts from around you guys, and they start growling at each other and hissing at each other. And then they put their arms on each other's shoulders, and they start to go round in a circle, saying these words. Then all of a sudden, the sun just bites into their father's neck, and blood starts gushing out as he rips out a bit of his flesh.
Oh, my heavens.
And the colonel just pulls out his gun. It's like, sit down.
I imagine that's a sanity check.
That is a sanity check.
And I'm going to say if I fail my sanity, I've shot my taser.
Yeah, right. If
No.
there was ever a time.
I passed. The colonel acted before I did, which is enough.
Yeah,
If you pass, take 2. If you failed, a D4.
Okay.
D4, okay.
And the father, funny enough, when that bite happens and the blood starts gushing, the father just starts, "Son, what did you do?" He almost reverts back, and his body mannerisms are back to normal, and he's holding on to his own wound. "What did you do?" And the son's just getting more feral looking.
Good God, he snapped out of it. Get him off of him.
I'm gonna punch the sun.
Okay, do me a brawl. The colonel has got his finger on the trigger ready to shoot. So
Oh my god. 01. I knocked him the fuck out. He's done. He is done.
I'm not going to make you roll in down. You just straight up. You just straight up.
Muhammad Ali him right in the jaw.
And he falls unconscious. Straight away, the colonel gestures to the cops to handcuff the son. And you all notice it. The blood's just pouring out of the dad, and you could see he's trying to hold the wound together, but he's getting paler and paler. There's a massive chunk ripped out of his neck. It's hit some vital.
With the son subdued, I'm trying to jump in for first aid.
Okay, yeah, do me some first aid, Gibson.
I'm just basic on it, but I'm... All right, 20. So pass.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you.
I'm at least trying to pressure on it.
Yeah, and you managed to get some. Maybe you take your tie off and wrap it around and just pull it, but you're just preventing the inevitable to eventually happen without a proper doctor here right now.
And calling
even then,
that one if he's got a medic on hand.
No, the only medical professionals are at the tent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we should get
Rupert,
Dr.
give him a call.
Whether
Call one of them in.
Yeah, I'm texting Dr. Blackwood. We have a situation.
And as you're texting, I swipe back to the others.
Nice.
So you don't get the text yet because you guys are a little back in time.
Things are happening simultaneously.
Yes.
Yeah. So going through these homemade little herb pouches, do I recognize the seeds or leaves of any of these plants?
At glances, and just checking for you right, study a lot of this.
I'm not
anyway, so I'm not going to make you. Yeah, I'm not making you roll. You'll be able to tell. A lot of these are what you would refer to as remedies, herbal remedies, stuff that would be used to heal people out in the wild.
I mean, nothing. Is there anything in here with like hallucinogenic properties?
One of the little pots of powder in it, there's black powder. Just sniffing it, you.
Oh, I'm in trouble.
No. You smell something familiar. You can't pinpoint it, but you know that you definitely shouldn't ingest this. So you would probably assume that is some form of hallucinogenic. Or something deadlier.
Right. Well, Dr. Weatherworth, how are we getting on over there? I've
I'm almost
come to some
done.
conclusions over here.
I'd say the prognosis, that's the right word, is that he died of multiple stab wounds, bled internally, and died. As to his physical state, Um, I'd say he's been living in the wild for some time. Of course, he's not completely insane. He obviously was able to make clothing, and you've got your pouch there with herbal remedies and so forth in it. So I don't know who would stab him. Perhaps he was just a vagrant, and somebody thought they'd have a little fun with their grandfather's sword.
A
It's
sword, you
rather
say?
odd. Well, it's too big to be a knife. It could have been a big knife, but I'd say from the general shape of the wound that it was probably a broadsword. There wasn't any slashing, but there's definitely puncture. It went all the way through.
You know, I'm reminded of a quote from the great Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Dr. Weatherworth, you have just met me and have no reason to believe that I am not mad, but as Sir Arthur Conan Doyle once said, once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, no matter how improbable, must be the truth. I'm just going to say it because softballing it in is just going to drag it out. We have plants that shouldn't exist. They should be extinct. We have a man who was apparently stabbed to death by sword, wearing clothes dyed with plant-based dyes that either he made himself or acquired from a high street shop. This is not something that you would find in I almost said Woolworths, but that's been gone for a while. Not something you would find in the corner store. His shoes are either this is either a dedicated a dedicated reenactor, larper, something like that. Well, something far stranger is going on.
Well, if to Mr. Sherlock Holmes would have not given up on what might be more obvious, like you say, a larper or somebody playing around, or maybe just somebody living off the land. But we are quite remote out here. There were certain odd anomalies internally that led me to believe that he might be somewhat, I don't want to say mutated, is probably a more medical term that I would use, but less developed internally. Has obviously not had the benefits of modern medical science. He's got scrapes and so forth all over his body. But there's certain anomalies that I also would say, well, for instance, the whole blue face paint, as I understood it, that was simply something they put in that movie with Mel Gibson and had no basis in reality. It seemed to me that blue is an extremely expensive color. Primitives would have had to have ground up seashells or lapis lazuli to create it.
I think we would need to drag Landon in here.
And as you say that, Weatherworth gets a text message from Langdon.
Oh, I do. Or
maybe Blackwood gets the
I did say I texted Blackwood just to be clear because we have a background.
Yeah. There we go.
What's he ask?
You hear the Star Trek communicator chirp. That's his text notification.
Inspiration.
And he looks down and he goes, Langdon, if you don't mind, could you remind me what you texted?
The text reads very simple. We have a situation.
Oh, Jesus. Everybody has a situation.
I'm going to read that out and say, I mean, and sort of point to the body with the phone and go, it's not like he's going anywhere.
Well, I'm pretty much done. We'll go find out what the situation is.
I'm going
Hopefully.
to look at the Cabreras, Holly and David, and say, Doctors Cabrera, if you don't mind, could you just leave everything as it is?
Yes, don't worry, Holly Cabrera, perhaps. Don't worry, we'll leave it just as it is.
Um,
Right, and I'm going to grab my thumbstick and because it goes everywhere with me, and head over to where Langdon is.
all right,
Okay, so
Langdon.
By the
are
way,
you both going? Yes.
Yeah, we're both going.
Okay, then you will see the situation. The boy is unconscious on the ground, cuffed. Gibson is over the father, who there's just blood coming out even through the tie. And that was an expensive tie.
right.
Good God,
What in the
Dr.
world is going on
Weatherworth,
over here?
I need you over here. He's got a carotid artery gash. It's bleeding. I need your help here. His son bit him. His son just.
You'll have to tell me what to do. I'm not that kind of a doctor.
You're a better doctor than I am. All I can do is keep the pressure on.
I'm going, what in the hell's? And I'm just going to I guess get the attention of the colonel by hitting the back of his leg with the stick and just be like, don't you have a medic?
I've already asked him.
Our medic.
Now, if he bleeds out, then I'll be his doctor.
The professor, the one of the Cabreras is a doctor, and my medic went across to the Gap. I haven't heard back from them.
Upon just hearing
the Gap?
The sycamore tree, where the sycamore tree is.
Upon hearing that the Cabreras are a trained medical person, I'm just going to heel turn and bolt out the door to go get one.
Face.
Yeah.
So what's the situation? You guys tell me everything.
I regale Dr. Weatherworth with everything that happened.
It definitely sounds like something maybe like rabies, but how long have they been exhibiting the symptoms? It takes 20 days or so usually.
The colonel pipes in, just says, since they got here, they have been in like a daydream almost.
They're not foaming at the mouth. And quite honestly, if it is rabies and they're at this stage, there's nothing we can do.
I heard rabies is 100% fatal.
It's 100% fatal unless you can get to it within a couple of hours of being hit.
Well, doctor, can you at least do any kind of a blood draw to analyze what might be affecting them?
Can you all do me Can you all do me a spot hidden, please, as you're having this conversation?
I'm not there, so I'm assuming.
Yeah, Blackwood, right. You ran to get a Cabrera, and you're probably on your way back because you
Cabrera, just one of them.
But you got Holly Cabrera.
I got a regular one.
I got a regular success.
Regular. Odd. Okay. So between the three of you, Rupert, you'll notice it first. You'll notice at first that the sun is starting to get up. And you can then the rest start to notice when they can hear the clicks of his bones as he's getting up and his hands are still, and he brings his arms around and rips open the cuffs.
I'm shooting
and
him.
Just screams at you all.
I'm shooting him. Well, this isn't very British of me. Good chums, but
I thought you meant the sun was coming up.
Here comes the sun.
Oh God, my throat.
He's definitely drugged out. I'm raising my taser on him.
Oh, Rupert, have you can roll to shoot.
Oh, do we not have to do sanity?
I will make you do sanity after. I will.
All right.
Being sick people, I know.
It's regular on my firearms.
Okay. Hang on. It'd help if I had. Oops. Yeah, you hit. Roll me some damage.
Okay. I was hoping it wasn't just going to do nothing.
Yeah, it bounces off.
Yeah. Okay, 1d10.
Vince, you shoot center mass. Do you shoot him in
4.
the head? Do you shoot
Right.
him in the leg?
4.
Hit 4 damage.
The bullet goes in and it stays in. I was trying it, and it goes in, but the sun starts rushing towards you, Rupert.
Sure.
The colonel is going to instinctively shoot, and he got a 99. So
Colonel, you
his
killed me.
his gun malfunctions.
Can I grab Rupert and try and at least pull him out of the way?
Yes. Do me, I guess a brawl or strength. I'm not really bothered in this case.
I rolled a 64. My strength is 55, and I don't think I have brawl, so I'm pretty sure I failed. My brawl is 50. Let me use some luck. So my strength is 55. I rolled a 64. Let me use 11. My math is bad. 11, 9, one of those.
What is it? You got 55.
Yeah, my strength is 55. Yep.
And you rolled a 64. That's 9.
Correct. There we go. Thank you, math.
So, you managed to pull Northamptonshire out of the way.
All right.
But the son then, because he lunges towards Northampton, he literally lunges straight into the wall.
Ooh.
But
I'm like,
when I
"Let's get outta
mean
here."
into the wall, he goes through the wall.
Oh, literally into it. Okay.
Yes, and you know what? Just for the jokes, he comes out, and Blackwood and Holly are just there as he zooms past them as the bricks just fly. Blackwood, I need you to do me a dodge roll for me.
Oh.
I will roll one for Holly.
I got a 36 out of 50, so that's a success.
Okay, you succeed, but a brick hits Holly straight in the head and knocks her out.
Oof. Well, Dad's SOL.
Okay, so and by now you've noticed the dad has just bled out. The dad has bled out. The son has just ran off.
We have a
Go over to the father
out
and
of
I go
curiosity?
like this. I go, yep, he's dead.
thanks.
It was,
Out of curiosity, is the son headed over the hill?
He looked like he was going in that way, but then you hear a gunshot and the sun falls down. Because you know there are a couple of other soldiers around. So
Oof.
not all of them
Good
went
service.
not all of them went over. But yeah, the sun just falls down and rolls down the hill.
You said a situation. You weren't kidding.
It escalated much faster than I thought.
So I'm going to tell you something very strange indeed. The body that was found. I would like Dr. Langdon to take a look at it, but the fellow seems to either be an expert LARP, pretending to be a 500-year-old Scotsman, or
he
he's a
is.
500-year-old
Scotsman in primitive clothing and primitive physical condition.
Before Langdon interjects or whatever, can you order me sanity rolls just for what happened? I almost forgot about them.
That's a failure. 70. Oof.
I was gonna say, as a newer player, I just want to roll under sanity, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I also failed. I got a 62.
Okay.
I failed with a 97.
Ooh, that's a special
Okay.
kind of failure.
And my
Yes.
sanity was 48 at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you succeeded, just take 2 points. If you normally failed, a D4. Ian A D4 plus 2, please.
Only 4.
That's fine. That's fine.
But yeah, I'm definitely I'm quivering and I had my taser up, but my hand is just shaking and it's like
Yes.
Is Holly knocked out or is her like head caved in?
No, she's just knocked out.
Okay.
She does get up after a little while. It's
Okay. I'm gonna help
The
her to her
female
feet.
Cabreras usually make it.
But Langdon, you're not gonna believe this. This man, Weatherworth's not wrong. I know it's like getting steadily more dark, but you know, he's Blackwood. So this the flowers, the dryads. They're not supposed to be here. They're extinct, at least in this part of the world. Man's wearing clothes dyed with plant-based dyes, handmade. You need to see his shoes, Langdon. They're handmade.
Speaks to Pictish, ancient Celt. I agree.
Yeah, Langdon, you came out straight away from his description, even from the paint. That is how the Picts would go around. They would paint themselves.
Absolutely, with lime, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
Yep.
Not the not how Highlander did it, but they definitely did paint themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
more very interesting clothes too.
If I can't believe I'm the one who is remembering this, and I might be completely wrong because I'm just actually remembering it. But is the flower not that flower that is responsible for the naming of the Ice Age period, or like the Dryad? There's like a younger Dryad period or something.
The younger Dryas?
It is also
okay, I might be.
It is also known as the Yellow Dryas.
Yeah, it's the one.
But yeah, it is known as the Yellow Dryas. But I guess if you don't mind me going botany for a minute, is that okay? Okay. It is native to the Americas. So it's very strange that it's here.
So the younger Dryas flower is appearing here.
So,
well, no, the Yellow Dryas flower is appearing
Yellow
here.
Dryas flower.
The younger Dryas is the period, the era, right?
okay, so it sounds to me like it's not goblins, ghoulies, ghosts, or fairies. It's something's coming through from another period in time, which is absolutely ludicrous to believe. But the man, the contents of his bag, you said that he said something in another language?
He did, but it predated anything that I understood. It was ancient for sure. At best, I could pick pre-Sumerian.
Well, was it a Semitic language or was it more Celtic?
Do I know, Keeper?
You really couldn't tell because it was almost an amalgamation of varying.
It could have been anything. It could have been ancient Greek for all I know. I am not a linguist in my specialty.
Right. And we seem to believe that going towards Hadrian's Wall, these people were affected by it. Could it be some noxious gas or, they said they saw lights, which have been shown to be swamp gas. Could it be a mental...
One of the herbal pouches that the deceased gentleman had on his person contains either a very powerful narcotic, possibly even a poison. I would believe probably more likely a hallucinogenic substance, but I am not brave enough to test it under these given circumstances.
Well, yes, don't test it. It could be a poison.
But if it's something made here in the locality, it might explain the odd behavior and perhaps even, and he kind of indicates towards the Kool-Aid man shaped hole in the wall. This behavior.
Maybe they should give us a direction, show us where these people went and where they were coming from. I'm not suggesting we go there yet until we find out that the area is not got some sort of volcanic gas event that makes everybody lose their minds.
Well,
But I'd like to at least see where.
As you say that, Professor Likely just he actually runs in through the hole in the wall. He doesn't even realize there's a hole in the wall there. He just runs through it. It's like, I just got a radio call from the sycamore tree people.
What?
A man was just shot in your facility, and you're coming to us about a radio call.
Wait, you got a radio call from the tree?
No, from the people around the tree, from the other investigation side nearer to the tree.
Sure, the ones that shot dude.
No, I thought the guy.
And
No. This is the one over the hill, the other side. The ones that they were talking about.
Oh, okay.
That
And
some people went over, but
I see.
Never came back.
And they're
And now he just got a small response. It's just a small response, but it's the most we've got in a few hours.
What did they say?
Are they saying at least that the wall is still preserved? I mean, that's the historical artifact I'm concerned with, not the tree.
They just said we need help, and then they cut out.
Well, get your soldiers and let's go. We have a working theory, Professor, but it's going to make us all sound mad.
Okay, what is your theory?
Working theory.
Well, either we have, and he's going to say this while like running like a proper
marching.
gentleman. Yeah. Either we have a very dedicated. Oh God, I just forgot the term. Starts with an R. Reenactor. Either we have a very dedicated reenactor, or we have a 500-year-old dead Scotsman who hasn't aged a day.
Both are very interesting.
That would explain the Pictish attire, yes.
Not to mention the runes on his bracelet and on the sycamore-handled carving knife in his pouch as well.
Not to mention the language.
And at least I'm headed up the hill. I'm not like.
Well, before you get
okay.
to the hill, you kind of get stopped because, because you were all in the building briefly, and now you're out there. There were like a couple of soldiers out here, and also David Cabrera was still out here, but he was at the tent. They're no longer there.
No longer there.
And
just
they're just not there. Holly went and checked in the tent, and David's not there.
So who shot the guy?
No, someone did shoot the guy.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
But they have now gone. In that time that you have gone, you've gone back in, and
understood.
The professor's come back in. They have just vanished.
Fair. And you said, well, with the professor here, did we notice them gone before he came out of the building?
No. I did. He just goes. I did notice that David wasn't in the tent, but I just thought he went off for a smoke break.
Is the village still there?
Yes, the village is still
okay.
there.
I feel like that's a fair question.
That is a fair question. No, the village is still there.
Are there electric lights in the village?
Yes.
Okay.
There.
All signs seem to point over the hill. If anyone feels otherwise, please correct me.
I say we go slowly, and if anybody smells anything odd or feels anything odd, we need to stop in our tracks.
I'd say, Colonel Sun, do you have any respirators?
Yeah. We must have in our trucks. Normally the medics bring a few.
Dr. Weatherworth, would it be appropriate then to at least try to keep from breathing any gas or spores using these respirators?
If the
I don't.
respirators can,
Yes, I won't have enough for all of us, though.
we don't even know
Anybody-
what we're dealing with, though. So,
Yes.
I mean, we could get in full hazmat suits, and we still might.
Well, I don't know. We don't have full hazmat suits, I'm afraid.
That's a brilliant idea, Inspector Gibson. What if you said you had four? What if four of us went down and two of us observed from the top of the hill? Or not. I was just an idea.
All right.
I don't need a respirator. I'm not a cowardly yellow-bellied breather of clean air.
Light cigarette.
I like
Right.
my air dirty.
Neither do I need one. I suggest we continue to move forward before the time to strike is not upon us.
Ian is collecting one. And
Go
puts it on.
slowly.
I am my inner desire for adventure is being tempered by the hallucinogenic properties of plants that I know all too well. So I am also going to join Inspector Gibson in gathering a respirator.
Unfortunately, Mr. Cabrera is not here. Otherwise, he should have gone first ahead of us.
You've got Miss Cabrera, but she probably won't come along.
She is the luckier of the two.
Not bad.
She does need to sit down because she did take a brick to the head, so she might sit
I
out.
know what that's like.
Uh-huh.
But Likely and the Colonel will come, and the Colonel will force the two police officers to come, as all his men have just vanished.
I'm not going to wear a mask because I need my senses.
Yes. So who is wearing a... So Inspector and Gibson and Blackwood, you're wearing a mask.
Correct.
Okay. Likely won't wear a mask either. The Colonel won't. The two police officers can wear the other ones because they might be a little bit more cowardly.
Call it an abundance of caution, but if we're dealing with time-traveling Scotsmen and potential hallucinogenic nonsense, I figured it's best tackled not off my tits on whatever's in the air.
Spoken by a true biologist.
So you guys start to walk. You walk up the hill. It's a nice walk. You get to the top of the hill and the sky's grayer. Surprisingly, it's still light, but it's grey. It looks like a storm's going to come down any second. And you do see, you see the gap in Hadrian's Wall. You see where, you can't actually see the stump because there's tents in the way of it now, but you might be able to make out a bit of the actual leaves and that of the tree as they are jutting out. But you don't see anyone.
Have the respirator group caught up to the rest of everyone?
We're going very
yes.
slowly.
Oh, okay.
You start to descend, and the grass. Sorry.
Real quick, you said that we got radio calls. Does the colonel or one of the officers have the handheld radio that they're calling in on?
The colonel now has the handheld. So.
And is there still crackling going on of the calls coming in?
No, it's gone silent.
All right, I'll leave you alone.
You get down and you notice the grass is longer now. The grass is very long. It didn't look long from the top of the hill, but now you're in it. It's like up to like the top of your belly.
It's never been mowed.
But Langdon and Gibson, you would know for sure that this would be kept clean cut because it's a tourist. sight and
history. Yes.
yeah.
That's strange. Can I use my thumbstick to check the ground ahead of us?
You can do, yes, but you can still see over it. So it's only up to about there on you.
Hey man, I've seen the horrific pit spike traps that the Romans put together. I'm not taking any chances.
Yeah, those who don't learn from it, I agree. Although it does seem odd that this hasn't been tended to in more than some time.
I could pull up pictures of just recent tourist activity around here where it has been properly maintained and cut. This doesn't make any sense.
It's very strange.
Yeah, the Colonel says that it was well maintained because he briefly did come over here when they first set up the tents, and even like Professor Lightly says it was. This has happened in a matter of maybe a day.
Dr. Blackwood, does that even make sense for the grass to grow that fast?
No, unless, not even bamboo grows that fast. And I hate to say it, but this is starting to lend more credence to my wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey theory.
If only we could see the stars.
Yes.
There seems to be cloud cover.
I pull up my phone and check to see, do I have internet service?
No.
It's just a clay tablet.
You actually looking?
I'm sorry. Sorry.
I pull out my bow and arrow.
No, that's fine. That's fine because you're on the right track. But no, all your phones are there, but you don't have any signal. And when you look back behind you, the hill looks steeper than it was. It looks like it would be like almost a mountain to climb to get back over.
What the hell?
Weird question. Is there anything to compare scale to?
In the area, probably the wall.
Okay. Has the wall gotten considerably taller?
No.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, that
Does it
rules
look
out
newer?
crazy theory, so that
Does it look
theory's out.
newer?
You were thinking that we were all shrinking.
Yes.
I think the grass would have gotten wider too.
Also, yes.
Yes.
But it's also a valid question because his wall was dismantled over the years, people pulling off some of the rocks for the building their own houses. So to its original height, maybe?
No, it's
being
not.
Accidentally on point.
That's the wall's still the same, but that helps you looking behind you up the hill because the hill is taller.
Mm-hmm.
It is almost like a mountain behind you now.
That
doesn't make sense. All right, is that a sanity check?
That is a sanity check
that
first.
makes sense.
Because I'm going to do two rolls. I'll do the sanity check first, just for the change in surroundings.
Like the kid that reminds the teacher about the homework.
Son of a bitch.
That's
All
fine.
Right. How much did I lose this time?
I did regular success.
If you succeed, take 1 point. If you failed, just take 2 points.
Oof.
Out of curiosity, again, I have to ask a rules question. At what point do I need to worry in terms of sanity?
When you
five
reach
in one
lost.
hit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
5 in one go or 5 in one session?
One hit.
5 in one hit and 20 when you reach 20% of your. However, in this case, I'm not going to worry too much about 20%, but if you still tell me when you reach 20%, that would still be handy.
You got it. Thank you.
2 away.
So now I need you to do me a lucky roll. Look. All of you do me a luck roll.
All of us?
Yes, all of you.
While this is going on, is the Colonel's radio is it just static, or is there anything going on?
It's dead. It's dead.
Okay. I'm asking the colonel for the name of some of his soldiers that he sent out here, and I'm panically pulling up my bullhorn, trying to call out.
Okay.
I'll do
You
the
have
though.
he tells you there's a Private Hurley. Bear with me. I'm trying to.
Yeah, I
You can
come up with
probably see
whatever
what I'm
name.
trying to do here. Sergeant Sanderson, Corporal Kruger, Private Llewellyn. And there's a few of us around.
I got an 7 on the luck roll.
Okay, so just put your hand up if you failed your luck roll, because that's all I need to know.
Whoops.
You failed, Langdon. Yes,
You're also
okay.
muted.
Yes, Langdon, Northamptonshire,
Sorry,
and
yes, I failed.
Gibson, you all failed your luck roll. So all three of you trip over something. And you fall over. And you, all three of you, are on 3 separate bodies. Gibson and Northamptonshire, you are on the bodies of the 2 army men who disappeared, the ones who shot the boy, basically. And Langdon, you fall on the body of David Cabrera.
Dr. Cabrera.
Obviously, you could see because of a really tall, thick grass, but now you've tripped over and on the ground and pretty much in kissing range of bodies.
Don't kiss them. Let's go back.
I'm gonna pick up do they have the rifles still?
Well, funny you should say. On their wrapped around them, they've still got like the leather strap, but attached to a leather strap is a long stick.
Do I have my gun?
You still have your gun, yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah. We're probably inside the anomaly zone. We need to get out of it.
Weatherworth, we could say you look back, and as I said, it's basically like a cliff face now in front of you.
Well, how far back?
I mean, if you're looking at it, if you try to go back up, you're going to have to rock climb back up. That's how bad it is now.
So now that I've tripped over this body, luckily I didn't break my bullhorn, but now that I'm pushing away from this body, do I see obvious signs of trauma?
You just see like stab wounds, basically.
Oh, hell yeah, I'm scrambling away, standing up, and
Do I still have my service revolver?
Yeah, you still have your gun, yeah. All your equipment is, all your guys' equipment is still there, don't worry.
Okay. So there's definitely some sort of weird thing going on here because now we've got a cliff right behind us. And I don't remember climbing down a cliff.
No, you came down a hill, and it's suddenly, as you've been walking closer to the second site, it's suddenly become a cliff.
so there is no way back.
We walk along the cliff and see if it gets less steep.
Sorry, what was that? I cut out a little bit. So
I just said, I'm just asking them, do we follow along the cliff and try to find a way back up? Do we call back to the
part of me that wants to see what's going on with the tree?
I understand that, but what, it's like There's part of me that would really like to see the elephant's foot at Chernobyl, but it would mean my instant death.
I concur. I prefer safety over adventure.
If we're traveling back in time, then there must be military soldiers here that have swords. And
You're not wrong. Very well. Yeah, I guess. Is there a way to get back around the hill? Well, the hill now cliff.
Well, as far as your eyes can see, it's just one consecutive cliff. You would have something is keeping you here.
Okay, so we've got
is the sense all of you are getting.
Right, so it's not oh, we've gone back in time and the hill is now not eroded. It's straight up something's I shouldn't say
it's
something, but it's a barrier now.
Yes, it's basically so okay, you could rock climb it if you can rock climb or climb.
Well, it seems to me like the only choice we are being given is to continue moving forward and see if we can solve this by solving what's going on. What other choice do we have?
It appears so.
Does appear to be
but
the
if
case.
It turns out to be fairies or ghosts, or I'm going to be angry.
Professor Lightly does interject and say, "This explains why the soldiers haven't been able to return once they've gone over the hill."
You think?
Lightly seems excited about the whole thing.
Now that I've tripped over the body and the other scenes, seeing everybody else reacting as if they're seeing the same thing I am, I'm starting to hyperventilate, and in the process, they're ripping my respirator off, trying to catch my breath, and realizing that it wasn't saving me from anything.
Dr. Blackwood, do you know entomology by chance?
It is not one of my specialties, but I know a bit.
I was just thinking, you know what this reminds me of? Have you ever seen doodle bugs, or what do they call them? Ant lions. I feel like this is a trap that we've moved forward in, and now we can't move backwards, and there's something waiting for us in that direction.
Oh.
So are you all going to continue forward?
I fear very much that you are correct, and I feel that we are going to have to move forward.
So you all start to move forward, and there's no real resistance, really, just the grass just getting thicker. Oh, there are flies and that all around you, but as you go, you do start to notice, some of you will start to notice your feet brush against other bodies, and they look familiar to the ones who actually saw I might as well say the picked body on the table. They look familiar. As you get closer, and you can now see the 3 or 4 tents still there, and the gap in Hadrian's wall is still there. And as we are just reaching what would be the 2 hours, we'll take 5 minutes just because this will go over by a little bit. So we'll just take a quick bio break. 5 minutes later. Okay. So you guys arrive at the tents. Well, you're about a minute away from the tents. And coming out, you see someone running out of the tents in a lab coat. So I assume it's one of the scientists. Then you just see something launch through him, and it's just a spear pierces him and pins him.
We're getting out of here.
Yeah.
We've got nowhere to go.
Marines, we are leaving.
And the gun out.
as you are like discussing this, at the tent now is a full-on centurion, Roman centurion.
Roman centurion.
I am awestruck.
Well, a Roman soldier,
That's a
a
German.
Roman legionnaire. So,
Oh no,
Actually,
wait, yeah,
Latin.
that comes from Rome. Yeah. Oh,
and
Italy.
he surprisingly doesn't have much of an accent as he shouts, "Who goes there?"
But does he
Ixnay
says
on
it in
the
English?
Roman-
Yeah, in English,
Oh,
which you are shocked, especially Langdon, by how clear his English is. Anyway,
It's so pristine. We are a group of curious individuals. Please do regale us with the story as to how you came to be here. We mean you no harm.
I am merely protecting the tree.
Your English is perfect. What about the tree are you protecting?
I am Tiberius, keeper of the tree.
What about this tree makes it so special?
Langdon, do me it's more of a folk tale check, but do it under a history check.
Sure. That's a 30. That's a pass regular.
So you actually heard of this. So there is rumors that people kept seeing for years and years a Roman soldier, a ghostly Roman soldier, scouting Hadrian's Wall, watching over the sycamore tree, a sycamore gap. And they believe this is because this is the last Roman soldier to stand aground here.
Mm-hmm. Tell me, my friend, do you have any other compatriots that stand this watch with you?
They all died by those.
I turn to my
Filth.
party and I'm like, it's real.
yeah, and he just murdered a guy.
Yes, but understand the richness in which the context takes place. This is the last of the Roman centurions protecting Hadrian's Wall. The wealth of knowledge is unfathomable.
He tried to disrupt what is left. Someone defiled the tree. I will not let anyone further defile it.
Does he have a sword?
Yeah, he has a sword. And at this point, he's probably walked up to the spear and pulled it out.
We also knew that the tree was defiled. That's why we came here, because of the tree. The two men, though, that defiled it were captured and punished. They're no longer alive.
They must have become afflicted. It's been happening.
What is the affliction?
I don't know. It's like I don't understand. I understand what you're saying to me, but I don't understand how I can understand. I speak weird. For me, this isn't. I don't feel like I'm myself.
There's some kind of strong magic here. We are
We're
actually
just jumping
physicians.
into magic. Okay.
He believes in magic. He's from the ancient Romans. We've come here to. We are physicians. We're here to see if we can figure out what's going wrong. Have other people come from our direction?
Yes, I am afraid I tried to help,
Why did you just
but
kill this man that came from our realm?
this man tried to touch the stump, the tree, what's left of it. I can't have it I can't have anything more done to it. I've already gone against my sworn oath of protecting this tree.
Dr. Blackwood.
What if we were to?
There was a tree long time ago, a small tree on my property that was removed. However, the stump remained and the tree grew back. Is it possible that the sycamore will grow back?
It is definitely possible. We could also do. There's a method. In fact, it is an ancient method called coppicing, and it was. In fact, the centurion might even recognize the method, if not the term. But essentially, you can get a stump like this to grow several branches that will continue to regrow as you cut them. And it provides, or can provide, long-term usage of this tree. It unfortunately will not grow back to its grandeur, but the tree will live on. In fact, I believe I read somewhere that was the plan. But Centurion Tiberius, correct?
Yes. What is this language I am speaking? Why is it so clear?
English.
It is a descendant of what the Gauls speak. Actually, Langdon, is that right?
That's correct.
I must have picked up something in these years of academia.
Postgraduate.
Regardless, do you know anything of the magic that we have fallen under? Do you? Obviously, you are not from where we come from, and we are not from where you come from. But we are both here together. Do you have any idea why that might be?
I am its sworn protector. I cannot reveal its secrets.
Oh,
of course.
Can I try and convince this guy that it's in his best interest to share those secrets with us if he has those secrets?
Yes, of course.
All right. I'm going to make a psychology roll. That is a 96. That's a total failure.
Oh boy.
Yeah, no, you can't think of any way to even try and get to this.
Yeah.
Man.
My scope of relation, it doesn't exist.
He does speak about, I will warn, I have not massacred your men. I was only killing those who were harming your men. I was trying to protect them. Most seemed like they were trying to aid me. But other things I hear depicts have followed me. And something else.
I ask him, I say, would you mind, Centurion, describing what we look like to you, just briefly?
You look like me, but in some weird fabric.
Okay.
Yes.
So he's not hallucinating. He's not seeing things that aren't real.
Allow me to appeal to you, Centurion. As I say, we came because we are physicians. This man, I point towards Dr. Blackwood, is an expert in the health and growth he needs to know what to do. We are not from here, but we have been summoned, possibly by the magic itself, to fix this problem.
Can you do me a roll of some kind? Yeah.
Persuade, yeah. What did I get? 69.
Nice.
My persuade is, where's my persuade? It's 65. I will spend 4 points.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He goes, "You haven't attacked me. You seem to be friendly enough. You cannot touch it, but I can at least let you come and see it.
Deal.
I apologize by what you will see in these tents. As I said, I tried to protect your allies, I guess. What are these words I am speaking?"
I'm speaking.
Sorry.
I'm just saying you're speaking a derivative of a Germanic tribe that we are not from the same time as you.
I gathered that. I might be not
It must be the magic. The magic wants us to be together and communicate.
Quite possibly. Anyway, follow me.
I'm going to do a sanity roll because I'm freaking myself.
Oh yeah, you might as well all do sanity rolls because
I failed.
Hey,
I also failed.
If you failed, do me a D4 because this is a D4 plus 1 because this is kind of
anti-science, mind-shattering shit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you passed, do take 2 points.
What are you having us roll for?
Sanity.
Okay. So before I make my sanity roll in support of what Dr. Weatherworth was saying and doing, to support him, I happened to pull out my treasured item, which was a Roman coin.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
To actually show him that, hey, we are followers, believers of you from history on.
Wow.
Yeah, but is it from before or after the Centurion?
I don't know.
Who knows, right?
Can I check it and look and see?
Son of a...
Now he's gonna think that we're from that time.
We'll leave it to a luck roll.
There you go. Toss them, Ian.
All right. So what will we roll in the sanity for?
For actually meeting this centurion.
The overwhelming.
Just for everything. It's all a little mind shattering, I guess.
Well, my rolling is I have the wrong set of dice because I rolled a 98 on that. But
throw the dice out, get new dice.
That's right.
And I just made my luck.
Hey.
Okay. So you made your luck, which we could say he recognizes the coin. What about sanity? How was everyone's?
A 98.
I only took 2 points of damage.
Okay, if you failed, it was a 1d4 plus 1, I'm pretty sure I said.
I rolled that and got a 1 for a total of 2.
Okay,
so I am down a total of 5 points, but haven't suffered 5 points in one go.
Right.
That's fine.
You said a 1d4 plus 1?
Yeah. Which will either way probably put you on your 20%.
Well, and all I had to do was roll a 1 to get the 20, but no, I had to roll a 5.
Okay, do me an intelligence roll for me.
Well, that's an automatic 20%, so that's...
Yeah, oh yeah, it is. Yeah, don't worry. I'll just mark it down that you've reached your 20%, and we'll cross that bridge when I possibly think it will suit this bridge.
All right, I've swapped out my dice.
Okay. So the Roman centurion leads you guys to the stump, but on your way you see a variety of corpses. Some are butchered, by varying weapons. Some even, just by looking at them, especially you, Langdon, some of them look like they were killed by Middle Eastern weapons.
Interesting.
Huh.
This almost looks like a scimitar or kukri.
Yeah. Which is odd.
That's odd. That's odd because it doesn't exist yet in this period.
We're a long way from or they would be,
and
weapons would be a long way from home.
On some of the bodies, you notice, so from old guns, a lot of the balls left thick black powder along, and you're noticing that from the gunpowder and the residue of it around. It's not like a modern bullet wound.
So, are you saying that these are the British soldiers that crossed over into this, or which soldier type of?
All the dead bodies you're seeing in here are the ones who are from you guys.
Okay.
So they're the ones who were already here, who set up the tents and stuff.
Okay.
But you assume out in the grass, there's probably more bodies of whoever the fuck is around.
Right.
But all of these are still, none of them are armed with particular original weapons. These are all maybe just the spears you were talking about before.
Yeah, spears. Their phones will be stone tablets. So when I said you're on the right track, when you brought that up, you were on the right track.
Well, where I'm going with for Gibson's 20% total of 5. I've already fallen in line that I'm following in Tiberius's legion, and I'm picking up some of the spears and whatever I can find to be one of his troops.
That is fair. That is, I will go with that.
That is appropriately nutty.
Maybe you even somehow your brain tells you the correct gesture to do to Tiberius.
There you go. Sorry about that.
And here you go, and you reach the stump. You can obviously see the sycamore tree. They have seemingly rope around it and a little bit of tent around some of it, trying to keep it secure, hidden. The actual tree, but the stump, it seems to be glowing, like a pink mist around it.
Oh, don't like that.
There's your magic.
Okay, well, I mean, sycamore trees don't typically glow, so there's our first problem. Is there runes on it or anything like that?
There are not runes on it, but you notice there are rune stones around it now.
Langdon, can you read any of that?
Do any of the rune stones register from a language I know?
Yeah, they're all protection runes. They're funny enough, they're a mix of Roman, like that Roman kind of protection, and also Celtic protection.
Ancient Celtic. Seems to be the common blend that you see of the obfuscation of Celtic runes being taken over by Roman culture, but it's all very much in the same theme of protection.
It almost seems like a harmonious thing, like it's something that's come together in agreement, the blend of it.
Almost as though they're synchronous, symbiotic.
Yes. Well, you said you saw scimitars.
Strangely, yeah.
That's like 9th century AD.
It's possible.
That's like 1st century AD.
It's true, and I have to think that given the evidence we've seen, there has to be some kind of multi-layer pocket dimension where people from different areas of time are coming in and affecting the same reality. It doesn't make sense, but it's the only way you can explain these different eras in time affecting the same reality. This tree seems to be the crux.
Tiberius,
Yes.
has this been the first time that this tree has been destroyed, decified?
Yes.
Can I feel like can I get an idea roll? I'm just kind of lost as to what we're supposed to do next.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
From our perspective, Centaurian, you may have been, who was Caesar when you were posted here?
Asking the hard questions.
That's a good question. I'm just trying to think in relation to. I would say Julius Caesar would probably have been
That's
on his rise.
Oh my God.
Okay.
So now you're talking about 100 years or 70 years BC.
Mm-hmm.
We, by our calculation, Centurion, you've been here guarding this tree for 2,000 years. How is it that you accidentally allowed these desecrators to get to the tree?
I think something stopped me. I don't know what strange magic. I don't know. I felt my ethereal body disappear briefly. I have guarded this tree even after my death, yet I am now living.
There's the ghost. Knew there was a ghost.
But I don't know what could have stopped me. You all really don't know about sycamore trees.
No.
Well, I
At
believe
least not
there was
to the. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
What is the wisdom of sycamore trees that you have to share with us?
Well, because you've all been actually relatively kind to him and forthcoming, I won't make any of you roll to anything. So he goes, well, from other cultures, he's referring to the Celts and
Right.
he's referring to that culture. The sycamores are associated with the world tree. This one in particular is meant to be a big beacon for the world tree. So you chop it down and you're unleashing time and space reality. Words that I shouldn't be able to comprehend here. I should not be able to, but I am. See, this is what I mean. I shouldn't be able to say what I'm saying. I shouldn't be able to speak how I'm saying. You guys shouldn't be able to understand me, yet you are.
None of us.
That's how important some of these landmarks, some of these things that have been stood here. In my time here guarding this, I've heard whispers of Stonehenge and all these cultural sites throughout the world. There's greater meaning to them. They are potential protection for this land or gateways to other realms, time and space itself. Yet, once you get rid of one or open it up in a less in a malicious way, when evil reaches the roots, it erupts. And that's what has happened. The world tree, as I will just refer, has erupted. And I don't know how to prevent it. I just know that I just can't let anyone else do any more damage to it.
Well, why don't we try touching it?
He's already stabbed someone who tried that. Let's not do that.
I need to clarify. I stabbed that person who took an axe and tried to swing at it. As I said, I wouldn't kill any of you without good reason.
Well, Dr. Blackwood is a specialist in trees. Let him. He's not intending to harm the tree in any way.
May I look at the stump with your permission? I will approach with no edged weapon or anything that could harm the tree.
Find a way to heal the tree.
Can I? Am I rolling dendrology on this one?
Yes. I also need to. Are you? No. Well, I'll let you roll first before I say what I'm going to say.
Tiberius, my Centurion leader, I will be beside the man he does no harm.
I'm going to get eaten by something horrific before this game is over, but I rolled an ought 4. And I swear my dice aren't loaded, and I'll swap them out if you'd like. But
no, it's fine. You get close to a tree, and you almost get a sense of clarity around it. I need to know if you're going to touch the tree at any point.
Yeah, I'm going to have to in order to investigate it.
Okay, that's fine. I'll come to that in a second.
And he said that I can, which is for me okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I just needed to clarify whether you were going to touch it. So, yeah, you get a sense of clarity and peace. You can understand why people liked this tree being here, why it was a landmark.
Right.
And now you just got the sense that you want to rebuild it. You start to touch it and you realize that even though you won't be able to, it will take years to regrow.
Right.
But you've realized there is another way, because even a centurion said that it was taken down with malicious intent. Like that, it was chopped down by evil, basically. But if you were to remove it properly, it might not be so bad, and at least solve some of the issues. That is a potential. But you are touching it, so I need you to do me do me a power roll first.
Sure. Let's see if my head explodes. Pow, where's my pow on this? There it is. A 94. Terrible things are about to occur.
Okay, and now I need you to do me a luck roll.
All right, I'm at 53. 82. Remember what I just said? Remember what I just said?
So, as you're touching it and that, say some words. You can speak to the others while you're touching it or whatever. I'll come to actually what's about to occur in a second.
Sure. So, Dr. Blackwood approaches the tree, and you see him kneel down, and he's kind of dug his hands into the soil, and he's kind of feeling it, and he's smelling it, and sort of poking around the tree itself, and he says, "This is the world's gone mad, so I'm just going to say what I see. This is a totem, a symbol for the Axis Mundi, the axis of the world, the center post, the world tree. You get your sill in the Norse religion. Sorry, my memory fails me. This is Langdon's area. Regardless, This tree was cut down with hatred, darkness in the heart of he who did it. And Centurion, I am going to say something, and I must stress that this does not mean I am going to perform these actions. I suspect that if we were to remove the stump, it may actually help right the current. And he doesn't actually say a word. He just, while staring at the stump, just kind of motions with his hand in the general vicinity.
As you are motioning, you just disappear in front of everyone's eyes.
Oh, God. Okay.
And I will come to where you are in a second. I will just stick with the other four. You've just seen Blackwood disappear.
Oh, boy.
Oh, dear.
Well, only way out is through. I'll go touch it.
Whoa.
Northampton, you're touching it as well.
Yep.
Okay, I need you to do me a power roll. I need you to do me a power
roll.
Oh dear, this is not good.
See the movie The Fly.
Yeah.
Fail.
Do me a luck roll.
Pass.
Okay. You also vanish, but briefly. You do reappear.
And did anything happen?
Well, yeah, when you vanished, you found yourself in the middle of a coliseum.
Oh.
As a gladiator fight was going on, and just as the combatants were about to hit directly into you, you vanished back you came back to reality.
Well, that's not right at all.
I'm taking the words of Dr. Blackwood before he disappeared in his thought process of regenerating the tree. And rather than going to the stump, I'm going to the felled tree itself and trying to see if there's any seeds possibly. I don't know what kind of seeds a sycamore tree has, if there would be pine cones or something, but whatever seeds it has, and trying to collect something like that. And
okay. You could do me a spot hidden, but Langdon, you can do me a spot hidden as well.
And essentially, if I find any, what I'm plan to do is go toward the base of the tree, dig beside it to make a hole to plant some of these seeds. Again, I'm crazed. No, 89, I didn't spot.
It's a failure for me too.
So much.
Okay.
Hey, can I borrow your dice?
Weatherworth, you could roll me a spot hidden as well, because you've seen these two looking.
Yeah.
Northamptonshire's probably a bit shook right now.
Oh, I got a 6. What am I rolling?
Just a look. Spot hidden, sorry, not a look. A spot hidden. I think you succeed anyway.
Spot hidden, that is an extreme.
Oh, that's even better. You actually point Langdon's head in the right direction and down, because you notice something that he would. So in the actual tree, the tree stump, there's also more runes inside. It's almost hollow inside the tree. You didn't notice it before.
What?
But that's maybe because your mind wasn't letting you notice it.
Can I see that the runes are any different than the ones on the outside?
Can you do me a history check for me?
47 is a pass.
Okay, so you could tell the rooms inside almost are some kind of guardian spell, not necessarily a protection spell, but almost like a binding rune, something that grounds it. And going by that, with it falling, you can hypothesize that with the tree falling, it is falling without the roots coming out. Well, without the stump coming out. You obviously hypothesize that it has severed the bind that the tree has, which obviously correlates with all this nonsense that's going on. And you think if you could somehow repair this bind, you could, even if the tree's not there, if you could somehow create your own bind.
Okay. I explained that to the party, but I'm like, I have no idea how we could possibly move in that direction.
You have no idea. But Blackwood, I will come to you. You find yourself in like a diner, like a 1920s style diner.
Okay.
And everyone's just staring at you.
Hello. Where I look outside. Is there a street sign?
Yeah, but you going by the street sign, you appear to be like New York.
What is everyone dressed like?
1920s attire.
Oh boy. Right. Well, enjoy your lunch, and I'm going to leave the diner.
Everyone looks surprised at you, but like shocked. But you continue to go out. I'm now just going to jump back to the others. The Centurion suddenly touches you, Langdon. Touches you on the shoulder. And he stares at you in the eyes. And can you do me a power roll for me, Langdon?
49. Let me see. Power 50. You have got to be kidding me. So that's a pass. That's a normal success.
No, that's fine. It's fine in this circumstance because you suddenly feel enlightened and the Centurion disappears. The armor stays behind, but the Centurion vanishes. Gibson, you are sent in. You feel weird all of a sudden because your leader has just vanished. And
what with my liege?
Langdon, you start to see signs all over the place, like runes and phrases of varying languages all over the place. And it's calling you to put them together. It's like the Centurion has gifted you some foresight, but in the process has given up his eternal life in a way. I guess being a ghost is technically wandering around, even in ghost form, is eternal life, I guess, for him.
Well,
he's seen everything.
Dr. Langdon's going to take advantage of that and kind of scramble with the stars in his eyes as he starts to try and piece things together. I can see it. I can see it so clearly.
Meanwhile, the other three, all three of you start to notice, and obviously Lightly and Sun, the two coppers get stabbed straight through as there are a couple of picts that have just appeared. And also around you now are some Napoleonic soldiers and some Ottoman skirmishers. and even a Nazi soldier.
Just
And
hanging
Are
out.
they coming at us?
Yeah, they're coming towards you. They're all there. They are seemingly not focusing on each other. They are focusing on you guys. They are coming towards you. They've just killed the 2 coppers.
Okay. Ian is too preoccupied bending over, putting on the Centurion's armor, since he assumes he has to replace him.
Yes. Yeah. You put on that armor, and you suddenly feel the strength of a Centurion. Turn your strength into 90, and add your brawl up to 90 as well.
Damn.
And increase your dodge by 30. You have gained the power of a Centurion.
I was already in dodge of 70.
Huh.
All right.
At this point,
Gotcha.
I'm gonna go into the magical circle.
okay.
Protect.
I need you to do me another look. Are you touching it again?
Can I see like the repaired thing, the repairable rune?
You could see inside the tree trunk. You see it, but you obviously don't see what Langdon is seeing right now. But you do see what they originally pointed out.
All right, then. Can I like get inside the tree?
You're going to crawl. Yeah, do me a look, crawl.
Okay, I'm going in.
Okay, so while you're doing that, just type to me what you get in that. I'll just put in the chat. Weatherworth, what are you doing?
You're muted.
I'm kind of overwhelmed and freaking out. I think when the 2 coppers get killed, I'll probably try to shrink into the background. Damn that I'm wearing white, but
Okay.
I'm going
Do me
to look.
a.
Now, if anybody comes directly at me, I'm putting a bullet through their skull.
That's fair. Because you're trying to hide, do me a stealth roll for me.
All right.
Or at least get out of the way.
Where's my stealth? Oh, I got 15 out of 35, so that's actually a hard.
Yeah, you're actually able to evade, which means we'll just say there's 7 of them, are encroaching on Gibson, Sun, Lightly, and Langdon. But Langdon, I need you to do me a power roll for me. You are the all-powerful.
23, that's a success.
Okay, so you start to have these vivid visions. You start to see certain historical figures at the prime of their life, and you see these flashes of other people like the Centurion, Tiberius, and you're just seeing flashes of history, and it is overwhelming your brain. Can you do me a Constitution roll for me? So you're about to enter roly times.
Yeah, 62. That's a failure.
Okay. Can you lose 2 points of health for me and lose 2 magic points, please? Okay. I will come to you, Northamptonshire, because you got an 03 in a second. Gibson, what are you doing?
I am defending, attacking the closest assailants, whether it's the picks first or whoever.
We could say one of the two skirmishers are next to you. So one of the Ottoman skirmishers.
So again, in wielding, again, I assume it was a Gladius sword.
Yes.
So using that, don't know whatever it is, but I'm swinging at him and yelling gibberish. I'm basically making up, attempting to do Latin words. It's not one of my languages, but anyway.
That's fine. You have the power of Tiberius, so
it's just a regular hit.
Okay. Yeah, that hits because the skirmisher fails.
Okay. I will assume a 1d10.
Do me a 1d12. I'm gonna let this be full on nice pulpy action right here.
If you pull out a dice that I have to dig with. I can do that though. With the increased strength bonus, there's obviously increased damage, so it's a total of 14 points.
Yeah. Is that what you rolled for it altogether? Is that what you got?
Yes.
Yeah, you absolutely demolish this man. You probably slice right through him, just cutting a clean diagonal slice down him.
And I've already wheeled and turned toward the next assailant, readying for him.
Yep. So I will go to he will attack you via the skirmisher in a minute, but I'm going to go to Sun quickly. Gets to roll. He actually hits, but does the other guy fail? So Sun manages to shoot the Nazi clean in the head. Likely going to try and cower away, which he doesn't. He gets shot. He gets caught by one of the Napoleonic soldiers and is like taken to the ground. The other skirmishers coming for you, Gibson. I got a regular success with the skirmisher, but
obviously my dodge. I wouldn't even.
Well, you can attack him back, obviously.
Yeah, so I would be basically swinging at him, blocking, swinging. Just a regular hit. Regular. So he hit.
Yeah, he hits you. He does 4 points of damage to you.
But I put on.
Yeah, because of your armor, it kind of deflects, and because of his lack of armor, just for the sake of cinematic purposes, you manage to get like a deflective hit in him and just gash him right across, and he falls to the ground. So Northamptonshire. Actually, no. Let me just go back to Langdon first. Langdon, can you do me another power roll for me?
Ooh, 76 is a fail.
Okay. So this is where we get into rolly dice territory. Can you do me a luck roll for me?
And that is a 0-3, so that's a success.
Okay. Now you could do me another con roll.
24 is a success.
Okay, so lose 2 points of 2 magic points. Your health is fine this time. But the visions are becoming more real, like you're actually living in these people's bodies. It is overpowering you. But beyond all of this, you start to see something in the sky, something big, something dark with tendrils coming out of it. It's almost looming over you, wanting to take your soul. Something evil is coming for you. But you feel like you've got this. You feel powerful enough to stop this. You think you're nearly there. You even find your whatever form you're in now in this vision, you've got a weapon. You seemingly have some kind of book in your hand, and you feel like you can take on whatever this is in the sky. And Northamptonshire. You start crawling up the tree. Up the tree, Northamptonshire goes. And you find yourself somewhere else. You crawl up the tree, but then you find yourself coming out of the tree. And you are back where you begun. One of the trees just outside the town centre. You are stood there. You have crawled out.
Well,
you are confused.
Job's done. Time to go back home.
This is 100% not my problem anymore.
However, you do notice, because remember, they did say that the sycamore cutting couldn't have been a two-man job. It had to be more than a two-man job. You notice there's another couple of feral-looking people coming towards you, sniffing and growling, almost lured towards you as you've somehow come out of a tree, which you now can't get back into.
Do I know where my car is?
It is probably at the inn.
And how far is that?
Just across. You could probably see your car in the car park, but you got to get past these two.
I'm going to try to do a football maneuver, American football, around them and get to my car.
Okay. I guess do it as it'll have to be as a dodge roll because they are going to try and attack you as you go. So do it as a dodge roll. But you can have an advantage because you gave me a clear and concise vision of what you were doing.
Okay, I needed the advantage. So yeah, I'll spend 11 to pass.
Okay. So one absolutely fails. The other rolled an extreme.
Well,
you do get past one. I guess you do like that when American football players run and you do a spin around them.
Yeah, exactly.
Love it.
But then the other nails me.
You take 9 points of damage as it
feel good.
tackles you and starts gnawing at you.
Well,
and I will come back to you in a second. Weatherworth, what are you doing? It seems like your compatriots are actually winning, considering there's four enemies left.
Well, if there's anything that I can do to help, if I see one of the enemies closest to me, I'll fire.
Okay. We could say Lightly is on the floor and one of the Napoleonic soldiers has like a musket and is like pointing it at him. And you're kind of behind, so you have the advantage. You could clearly see that you could easily just walk up behind this soldier.
I'll walk up behind him and I'll fire. I got a 39 out of 50. So
yeah, and it's point blank as well. So you just and save Lightly from a death. So left there is another Napoleonic soldier and 2 Picts are left. I will come back to Gibson in a second. Langdon, do me another power roll. I'm sorry, you've become dice roll central.
It's all right. 70, I think, is a failure.
I had to think on the fly because I made a mistake. So
no problem. Yeah, that first one's a failure.
Okay, luck roll for me.
51 is let's see. I think that actually is a success. Luck 52. My God, get out of here. Okay.
And now a con roll for me, Mr. Langdon. Sorry, Dr. Langdon. Sorry
Oh,
for the dice
good.
rolls.
31. So that's a success as well.
Okay, just take 2 points of magic for me. What is your magic at? Right.
Probably 4, I think, right now.
Okay. So, just bear with me. Oh, that wasn't meant to go to that person.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, it's just I sent a message to the wrong person. So yeah, you see this creature in the sky. You feel intense power. You feel like you could push it back into the cosmos as it is encroaching onto this realm of existence. You are seeing more world trees around as your visions have become reality. You've seen more world trees grow, and you know that if this creature reaches them, you are doomed. So, what do you want to do? you feel like you could push it back into the cosmos. You don't know how, not with, maybe through magic or something, but you feel like you could push it back.
I'd say that's got to be the way to go.
Yeah. So how do you want to push it back? I'm basically. How would you picture yourself pushing it back? Would you get a fictional cricket bat and send a wave of energy? Just anything. How would you heroically push some evil, dark, elder creature back into the cosmos?
I would say with a giant sweeping gesture of my hands and arms, probably.
Okay. Can you do me a strength roll with an advantage? And your strength is at a plus 20 as well.
Okay. That's a success. Regular success. I rolled a 52.
Okay. Yes, you manage to push this thing back. And as you push this thing back, you find yourself back in reality.
Oh? And where am I?
I will come to you, Blackwood,
Okay.
because yes. So you find yourself back in reality, and for purposes, let me just roll for some before I get to. Okay. Sun sadly gets his head decapitated by a Pict. But as you do that, as that happens, Weatherworth just shoots him. I'm going cinematic here. Weatherworth shoots him, and Gibson then gets the other Pict. Blood gushing everywhere.
I'm not Gibson. I'm Tiberius II.
Sure you are. Sure you are. Let's get out of here.
And the three of you are there with lightly injured, and everywhere's gone back to normal. Everywhere around you, but all the bodies are still there, though. Everything's gone back to normal. The grass has gone down, but all the bodies of the people who have died here are still here. So even the out of time bodies are there. But the tree is gone, but on the stump, the three of you around it, you can see an ethereal version of the sycamore tree has been granted in its place as like an extra barrier. And you three, along with Lightly, are able to walk back and up the hill. But before we get to that, Northamptonshire, Gibson, you have your armor and sword. It is up to you if you take the mantle.
again, with my 20% plus the 5 backs, I am Tiberius II, standing guard by my sworn duty to protect the tree. I would have to be physically pulled away. It's my duty. I must stay here.
Okay, I know how to end. I know how to give you an end. I will go to Northamptonshire first. Northamptonshire, you are there on the ground with a creature crawling at you. What is your health looking at? Where are you at health?
I got 3.
Okay. So, how are you getting out? The creature is on top of you.
I guess I'll shoot him.
Okay. So we'll do counter roll. So he is going back down for more damage. I got an 05.
Well, I got a 01. So
Ooh.
take that.
You just straight up shoot the bastard.
I got 2 01s this game.
You straight up shoot the bastard. However, you do have the other one coming for you.
Wow.
As he is, the fact you've been pinned to the ground, it's given him time to come towards you.
I can prove the 01. You can see it in my glasses. In the computer.
I just got a regular success on that one, so.
Okay, let me do it. Another. I'm just trying to. Okay, that's an 82, but I'll spend the 20 to get it to a success.
Okay. Yeah, we'll say that you managed to kill it. And you drag yourself to your car, but you are bleeding out. You pass out. Not necessarily dead. I assume Weatherworth and Langdon will find you. Because the spirit of Tiberius that was in Langdon comes out of Langdon, because he's helped Langdon, and it goes into Gibson. And the Weatherworth and Langdon, you see Gibson disappear.
Oh,
Not unusual.
But you can still hear him. And Gibson, you have now become the new guardian of the tree. You are officially Tiberius II. Weatherworth, Langdon, and Northamptonshire, what you guys tell people, I don't know, the government will most likely cover this up. This whole mess. Blackwood,
aye.
you are stuck.
Oh boy.
That was sadly always the case. You were stuck here. You eventually find yourself in Arkham. After a little while, you've become accustomed to where you are. And you find yourself in Arkham. And you meet a man who introduces you to a friend at the Miskatonic University. And he offers you a job and a chance to meet a Julius Smythe.
Sure, I'll take him up on it.
And yeah,
who?
that is where
I hate to be that guy. Who's Julius Smythe?
he's just a character from another Call of Cthulhu scenario.
He's the head of the Arcane Society.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, that is where we end.
Oh, lost to time. And,
You are lost to time.
and
The rest will
it's very unfair to the what is it? The stock market.
The rest will probably see your gravestone. Your name just appear. They might look for you. Gibson lost forever, but he is defender. So basically, the gist of what happened is,
Oh, do we need to do an outro first?
no,
tell
I
us a
just
little.
run it down. I just do a little rundown. So the gist is, The 4 were part of a cult of Azathoth, basically. That's what the giant black ball in the sky. Or Langdon just saw a spawn anyway. And they were compelled to destroy one of the trees, which would allow him to enter the world quicker, through quicker means, and destroy it. And by doing that, it ripped a hole in time, because going by folklore, these trees are the gateway to heaven and hell and other realms of reality. And so by doing that, it made the whole area succumb to a time void, not necessarily from that area. It started off in that area with the Picts and the Roman, but then it expanded to elsewhere. What I forgot is you were meant to find a book, and which would have offered you some more advice and would have helped, but I forgot, so I had to improvise with the whole Centurion and Langdon being possessed, because I thought it makes sense for a historian to be able to comprehend that a bit better. So that's why the last section was a bit out of hand, because I forgot a simple thing, because I think I skipped a page on my notes.
No worries.
And,
I still had fun. That was a blast.
So I made that mistake. But yeah, there you go.
Aren't the GM supposed to have 3 different locations of the primary clues? So that was just...
Yeah, I skipped over all of those places.
No, you just created a 4th.
Yeah, there you go.
Basically, I created a 4th.
Well, I had fun.
Cool. Our players included Max Meltzer, Cody McInnes, Gordon Lewis, Bill Riggle, and myself, with Josh Harwood as the keeper of arcane lore. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members, you can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows, free for you to download from Podbean, Spotify, or iTunes. If you'd like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 to a month helps us a lot. Or hit the super thanks button just below the screen. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Thom Raley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.